Hi guys, welcome back to another Salmon Tongo fishing video. Today we're going to be reviewing the Nash Titan Hide XL. So let's start off with the bag. I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so you can see it's quite a big bag. It's not too wide and the weight isn't too bad. You get the bivy, the peg bag, a repair kit and the instruction manual as well of how to assemble and disassemble it. So the most important thing, I'm going to show you how to put it up. So the first thing you need to do with this is take it from its two pieces into a one piece. So you just do that by stretching it out. The next thing you've got to do is put the poles in. So as you can see, the flat part's here. If I try to put it in there, it's not going to go. You just need to make sure that we've got it the right way. The flat side just slips straight in. So now we've got the poles in, what we need to do is fan it out into its shape and then we'll tighten it up. So what you see I've done here is I've just tucked it into my body. Just gives it the support so you're able to, when you're pulling it, it'll open. One thing to note, I nearly did this wrong on my first time. You want to make sure that this material is actually pulled up as high as you can get it here, because when you start fanning it out you'll realise it's not going to go. What you want to do is hold on to the second pole on each side. So there's the small poles here, which are the outside, which come round to the front. Then you've got your two parts here, your next poles. These are the ones that you want to be holding on to when you fan it out. Once you've got the motion of it after a couple of times, I would say practice it a couple of times just so you know you're not going to rip the material. The next thing you'll have to do is these caps on the end that you do need to tuck these into. So what I have found is they are quite tight when you start, and you do want to make sure that the poles are all fanned out and they're not dug into the ground. So it is quite tough to get them in the first couple of times. Once you get the knack of it, it's not too bad. So the next thing is just putting these Velcro straps around, just to keep everything in place. So there's two, so one on each side. So all I'm going to do now is just put the tension strap across, clip it in, and then start pegging it. So the first thing you can probably tell is there's lots of room in here. It's not called the XL for nothing. I've put in here everything I'd usually take fishing, except for my rods. Obviously they'd be outside. So I've got the bed chair, a bag that might have some cooking stuff in here, another bag which I normally keep all my tackle and things like that in there. I've brought a chair as well. I don't usually bring a chair if it's just an overnight, but if I don't want to sit on my bed chair, I can sit on the chair and have a look out. And you can still see there's lots of room in front of me here that you could probably use for cooking. If you rig in, you could probably bring a little table in here if you needed. So really pleased with that. I think that's a massive pro for this bivy. So as you can see, there's two windows on the back, which is quite a nice feature. So we've got like the mozzie mesh on here. That'll let some air go straight through, so if it is a warmer day like today and you're sitting in your bivy and you do want some cool air to come through, then these are really ideal. So overall, I'll give you my pros and cons for this bivy, and we'll start with the pros. So obviously the biggest one for me, the size. So the size that you've got inside the bivy, both width-wise and height, and with the flat back, it's probably one of the best sort of shapes I can see on the market at the moment. How easy it is to put up, in the sense of only clipping in some poles, fanning it out, clipping it in, and you're good to go. You've got your shape, and then only sort of 3 pegs that you need to put in if you're you know, in the summer months. Another nice added feature which I think is very good is the two windows at the back that you're able to just roll up if it's too warm. You'll keep them closed to zip down and velcroed if it's a little bit cooler. And the last little feature that I think is really good is the fact that it's got a small guttering system just across the front, down the side of the bivy. The shape of the bivy worried me at first because it looks like the rain's going to land on here, just come straight off. So if you are without a door, you're going to get wet. But it looks like the water will come on here, roll down here, and all the way down the side of the bivy on either side, so that's a nice little feature as well. So moving on to the cons a little bit for me, although I said it's easy to put up, which it is, when you're first putting it up, the first few times that I've put it up, it is a little bit scary if I'm really honest. As you're pulling it, it does feel very tight. The material feels quite tight and you feel like you might rip it or you're going to damage it. It may be that when I start putting up a lot more and I'm on the bank, you know, in and out, the material will get used to it. But for the first few times, it added a couple of minutes on just getting all the webbing in place, so that way you're actually fanning it open, you're not ripping it or anything like that. So that may get better with time, but for a first sort of view and a first review of this, does seem like it does add on a little bit of time, even though it's supposed to be a quick bivvy to put up. The only other real con that I do have is the fact that it doesn't have a door. It is a modular design. I mean, at the moment, I don't need a door. The sun's out, it's really, really sunny. But when it comes to winter time, I'm gonna have to fork out for a door that I'm gonna have to put in. And my last sort of con or little niggle with it is it's quite difficult to get back into the bag. The bag's quite tight, it's tall enough, it is wide enough, for one person sort of rolling it up, trying to shove it in, you know, it took me a couple of minutes to get it back into the bag, and if you think about the speed it's supposed to come up and come down, it's just a little bit of a hindrance. So overall, I think for the money that you're paying, you're getting a really big bivvy, you're getting some good features, it's sturdy. I think you're getting what you're paying for, if I'm really honest. For anybody that's looking to invest in a slightly bigger bivvy than the one that they've got, or an easier one to put up, I would recommend this one. When you get used to it, you'll be getting it up in 30 seconds, no problem. If you have any questions about the bivvy, or you're interested in buying one yourself and there's some things that I've missed out and you can't see anywhere else, feel free to just drop a comment down below. I'm happy to get the bivvy out again, look at it a bit more. We might even be able to do some videos. But yeah, if you drop this a like, comment if you've got any questions, and then we'll see you in another review video or another fishing video.